Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back to Crossover Ministry for another exciting lesson. And the title of our lesson today is called The Distinction Between Good and Evil. So, as you all know, we are actually learning the alphabet, and we are now on the ninth letter of the alphabet, which is the letter Tet. Okay, so the letter Tet has the pictograph of a basket with a snake inside. Okay, so if you can imagine, it's a circle with an X. Okay, so that is where that came from. That is the picture that it depicts. Okay, so Ted has this thing about the two possibilities of man, how man can be either evil and good or good. Okay, so let's look at Exodus 4, verse 2. And this is about Moshe. And we know Moshe, according to the Bible, is the most gentle and the most humble person ever. Right? And it's even God who said that. Okay, Exodus 4:2. And Yahweh said to him, "What is that in your hand?" And he said, "A rod." And he said, "Throw it on the ground." So he threw it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moshe fled from it. And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Reach out your hand and seize it by the tail." So he reached out his hand and took hold of it, and it became a rod in his hand. Okay, another story. Numbers 20, verse 10. And Moshe and Aharon assembled the assembly before the rock. And he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock?" Then Moshe lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and much water came out, and the congregation and their livestock drank. Now in Deuteronomy 13:19, there is this decision that was offered to the people, and it goes like this. "I have called the heavens and the earth as witnesses today against you. I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore, you shall choose life so that you live, both you and your seed." Verse 20, "To love Yahweh your Elohim, to obey his voice, and to cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days. To dwell in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, to give them." Now Joshua presented another challenge to the people as well. And it goes like this, Joshua 24:14. "And now fear Yahweh, serve him in perfection and in truth, and put away the mighty ones which your fathers served beyond the river and in Mitzrayim, and served Yahweh. And if it seems evil in your eyes to serve Yahweh, choose for yourselves this day whom you are going to serve, whether the mighty ones which your fathers served that were beyond the river, or the mighty ones of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But I and my house, we serve the Lord." Now, going back to that story about Moshe making that rod like a snake, or picking that rod, okay, and then as a snake, and then becoming as a rod again. Okay, so here we see a person who, because of his decision, right, he had this ability, as he is led by Yahweh, to do all these miracles. But in Numbers 10, when he was presented with this, because in the first time that he did it, God actually told him to strike the rock, right? But the second time, he was told to speak to the rock, but instead he struck the rock twice. Okay, and that is the reason why he was not able to enter the promised land, because he did not honor Yahweh before the people. Okay, so one person, okay, and there is this so much reputation behind this man, and how he loved the Lord, how he obeyed the Lord, right? But that one moment he made that decision, and it was evil to him. It did not turn out good for him. And so in Deuteronomy 30, when they're about to enter the land, Moshe presented this challenge to the people, right? Choose life. Okay, it is presented to you. Life and death is presented to you. Choose life. And then Joshua did that again when he said, okay, it's your choice whether you serve the gods that your fathers served beyond the river or the gods of the Amorites. But as for me and my house, we decide to follow Yahweh, to obey his commands, to obey his voice, to love him. Right? So you have that innate ability to become both good and evil. All right, now Genesis 1:4, it says, and Elohim saw the light that it was good, and Elohim separated the light from the darkness. So in the beginning, God is putting this separation between light and darkness. Now in the darkness, he saw that light and he separated it from darkness. Okay, the word darkness in Hebrew is hosek. Hosek is, darkness, to darken, to dim, to hide, but it is also connected to the word secret place. So what if all darkness is not just all evil? What if it's not all about not the presence of light, but it is a secret place? Okay, later on we're gonna look at this one word at the end of the lesson, which connects to this. Now Isaiah 45:5 says this: I am Yahweh and there is none else. There is no Elohim besides me. I gird you, though you have not known me, so that they know from the rising of the sun to its setting that there is none but me. I am Yahweh and there is none else, forming light and creating darkness, making peace and creating evil. I, Yahweh, do all these. Now look at the word forming here. The word forming, okay, so you have forming light, creating darkness, right? The word forming is yatsar. The word yatsar comes from the root word sur, meaning to press, enemy, or trouble. But the word sur is also connected to the word balm. Okay, so a salve rubbed and pressed into the skin. Now you need balm to heal. If you have a wound in your skin, a break in the skin, a balm would relieve that, will heal it, right? It's a cure. Okay, so the word su, the root word, also is the same root word for the word rock. Okay, now he's saying forming light. Word forming is connected again to darkness, balm or healing, secret place, or rock. Okay, so it talks about stability, okay, steadfastness, okay, being strong. Okay, now here's the word create. So he said forming light and creating darkness. The word create is bara. It's the same word in Genesis 1:1. Okay, but when you look at the root word, which is bar, it means sun or feed or grain, because when you look at the stalk, it has a group of grain or family of heads because it has a lot of grain. Okay, now the word evil, now we know what is tov. Tov is good. Okay, anything that is good is tov. Okay, we know what is good, right? Now ra'ah is the Hebrew word for evil. Okay, ra'ah is grieve or bad. It is evil naturally or morally. Okay, calamity, affliction, distress, heavy, hurt. Now, those are the word ra. But look at this word. Ra can also mean shout. To shout an alarm or war or great rejoicing. Okay, so when Yah said in Isaiah, he is forming light, okay, and creating darkness, that word create, okay, or evil, right? Remember, we said grain has something to do with family, or another thing is to clean. It is connected to the word soap. So in the secret place, there is this creating of family or the cleansing of the family. Okay, now Ra'ah is to shout, to cleanse them in order to what? To proclaim victory. Huh? Right? And that's the secret. The secret place. Okay, so Now, as I've said, it's connected to the word shout, right? Because here are other Hebrew words that are connected to ra'ah. Ruah or reya. Ruah is to split the ears with sound. Huh? Okay, so it's blow an alarm. Now, reya is a crash or thunder or noise of war, okay, or shout of joy. So when you go to the secret place, either you make a shout of war or you have a shout of joy. Because when you win a war through the Spirit, through Yahweh, who enables your hand to be ready for battle, who enables your fingers to be ready for war, right? You will shout a shout of joy. Okay, so here we can see that we have several scriptures that proves that are witnesses to, darkness is not just evil. Okay, so of the Judean exiles, this is what he said. Jeremiah 13:15, listen and give ear, do not be proud, for Yahweh has spoken. Give esteem to Yahweh your Elohim before he brings darkness. So now you see how he brings darkness in order to teach his people. Because here Jeremiah is talking to the exiles, right? Or to the people that were left behind in the land. And he's saying that listen to God, or else he's gonna bring judgment. He's gonna bring the darkness. And what is that for? That is to bring us back to Elohim. Now, of Pharaoh, and when I extinguish you, I shall cover the heavens and make its stars dark. This is in Ezekiel 32:7. Now, to judge Pharaoh, this is what he's saying. I'm going to make the stars dark. I'm going to make the heavens dark. This is a metaphor to judgment again. Okay, now of the earth, blow a shofar in Zion and sound an alarm in my set apart mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the earth tremble, for the day of Yahweh is coming, for it is near. A day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Now we know this is all about judgment, right? The one I'm reading. But when it says about days of clouds and thick darkness, what does that remind you of? It reminds you of God coming down to Sinai, giving the commandments. It's the same picture. Right? And in the mountain, he was giving people a covenant. He is making a covenant with his people. But these people are rejecting this covenant. That's why now he's coming again with darkness and gloom, day of clouds and thick darkness, not to make a covenant, but to judge his people so that they can go back to the covenant. Isn't that cool? Okay, now of his enemies. Yahweh is good as a stronghold in the day of distress, and he knows those who take refuge in him. But with an overwhelming flood, he makes a complete end of the place of Nineveh, and darkness does pursue his enemies. You see? Okay, so darkness here has something to do with avenging his people, because he is now going against his enemies. Now, of rebellious angels, he will talk about darkness as well. But I intend to remind you in Jude 1:5, though you once knew this, that Yahweh, having saved the people out of the land of Mitzrayim, afterward destroyed those who did not believe, and the messengers who did not keep their own principality, but left their own dwelling. He has kept in everlasting shackles under darkness for the judgment of the great day. Now, to end this lesson, this is what I was talking about, connecting this word, Yetzar, okay, forming, right? Forming light and creating darkness, or creating evil. Isaiah 45:3, and I shall give you the treasures of darkness. Now, it's not talking about judgment here, okay? And hoarded wealth of secret places. Okay, secret places, so that you know that I, Yahweh, who are calling you by your name, am the Elohim of Israel. Now, the word treasure there, and I shall give you the treasures of darkness. Okay, we know darkness is chosek, okay, or we know secret place, right? That's why it says the hoarded wealth of the secret places. Okay, chosek is connected to that secret place. Okay, now otsar is the word for treasure. Yatsar is the word for forming. Both words, treasure and forming, come from the same root word, which is tsur, to press, okay, or enemy trouble. But in this context, we know that this is all about what God is doing. He is forming. He is, it's kind of like diamond, right? Diamond they find in mines, and it's a secret place, it's a dark place, but it is where you find these treasures. So it's kind of like that. And this is what God is doing when He takes us to a dark place. Not all dark places are overwhelmingly bad. They're not. But sometimes when He takes us there, He is putting pressure on us. He's pressing us so that we come out as a treasure. Okay, the experience that we will have, that we will come up, that will come in our lives, they are going to act as the pressure, the rock that will press us, so that we come out like diamonds. We come out as treasures. He's not only giving it to us, He's making us that treasure in the secret place, in the darkness. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson today. I hope you meditate on it the whole week, the rest of the week, okay? And on this Shabbat. And I hope that you realize how treasured and how valuable you are before our God, before our King, before our Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'll see you again next week. Enjoy your Shabbat. Bye.